In November 1997, Korean government declared that the whole country went bankrupt. And they admitted that they cannot continue the economic cycle, so they need to borrow money from IMF. That is what happened more than 20 years ago. Why personally this was a big thing? Because I was just about to graduate from my university. I was on the third year of my university back in 1997. A little background about the situation. When I was in university, high school, Korea was on the way up in terms of economy. Korea used to be a poor country, and then there was a very rapid recovery after the Korean War. And every year we were jumping into the next level. And our growth in terms of the economic size was like 20% up, 30% up every year. So which means there was hundreds and thousands of jobs created every month. Okay, so it was a very, very easy time to get a job. All the companies were growing very fast. They were making a lot of money. They need to hire smart people. So I still remember when I was a university student, there were many big companies coming to the school to make a presentation. For example, one day Samsung comes, the other day Kia comes, LG come, and what they do is they make a presentation in front of the students why we have to go to Samsung, why we have to join LG. They explain our mission is blah, 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 and our future is bright. Please join us. Don't go to our competitors because your future with us. So which means it was super easy to get a job, right? So companies were dying to get the people who has university degrees. So which means during my time, my student time, if you go to the good university, your life was guaranteed. So when you are in the middle school, high school, you just need to study hard. Yeah? You never leave the desk. You study all day until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah? You sleep 4 hours, 5 hours, wake up again, you study. Why? Because once you get to the university, that's it. Your life is guaranteed. I was always thinking like that. So I went into the university back in 1992, and my university was one of the good universities, number 5 or 6 in Korea. Okay, so I thought I did my job. Now it's time to enjoy your life, right? Because I already went into the good university. So I never studied. I missed a lot of classes. Okay, if I look at my grade card for the first year, freshman of university, I had a 5F from 1 year. F, you know F? A, B, C, D, E, F. So 0. So you have to study again. Okay, I didn't care because I'm a university student. My future is guaranteed. It doesn't matter. Problem is, now I was on the 3rd year of university after I finished my military service, and it happened. And I saw my seniors on the 4th year of university. Did they get a job easy like before? No, none of them. My major in university was tourism. So tourism, you imagine maybe we will go and get a job in the hotel, travel agencies, airlines. No, my seniors always go to the big company like Samsung or LG. But after this, it didn't happen. It was very, very difficult to find a job because nobody is hiring. Actually, all the companies were downsizing. There was a lot of headline of the newspaper saying that Samsung decided to cut the salary of the entire labor force by 35%. Your salary became 35% less suddenly from here. Out of 30 biggest companies in Korea, after this, 17 went bankrupt. Can you believe it? Out of top 30 biggest company in Korea, 17 went bankrupt. More than half. So it was chaos. So after I had this situation, I didn't know what to do, and I started to speak to myself. Okay, let's be serious about your life, because otherwise you will end up as a very poor person without job, unemployed, no money. I cannot do that. I'm not coming from a rich family, so if I don't make myself successful, there's no money. Okay, so I spoke to myself. Okay, let's start again. Let's restart. It's not too late. I'm still young. I'm only 26 years old. Okay, and I made a list how I'm going to survive. It was when I was 26 years old. I list up first option. Let's go to the medical school. So I quit the university, tourism, no, and then I go to medical school. I need to study again to be a doctor. Okay, first option. Second option, okay, let's study for the examination to become lawyer. Okay, second option, lawyer. Okay. You can see a doctor, lawyer, always best job. Yeah, during my time, X generation. Okay, number 3 option was, people said computer is very important. Mm-hmm. Computer, during my university time, computer was starting to be adopted. Until I was second year of the university, my school report was written by hand. I was always writing in hand. And after finished the military service, when I returned to the school, I could see that people start to use word processor and presentation. I was shocked. So that was the first time I started to type. So number 3 option was, let's study computer. Let's become IT person. And number 4 option was, okay, my parents or other people always said, if you want to be successful, you need to speak good English. If you speak good English, you can be successful. There was something I heard many times. So number 4 option, focus on your English. For your information, I didn't speak any English when I was 26 years old. Okay, so I made a list of 4 options and I evaluated which option is the best. Okay, medical school sounds quite far. Okay, can I pass? Maybe not. Okay, so even though I pass, I need to spend 6 more years to become a doctor. So, okay, now I'm 26, so okay, I studied 2 years to become medical school student, 28, 6 more years, 34, oh no. Okay. Lawyer, I'm sure some of you are aware, I have a very short memory. I cannot memorize anything. So I'm very bad at memorizing things. So maybe lawyer examination, I will fail. So pass. IT, I'm not very clever. I cannot even make a Lego. So when my boy asked me, okay, father, please make a Lego together, I hate it. So I cannot do IT. So only one option left, which was English. Okay, I'm quite a social person. I like speaking. So let's focus on English. That was the time I decided to speak good English when I was 26 years old. That's why today I'm standing in front of you to share my advice how you can improve your English. Why? Because I started when I was 26. If I started when I was 10, when I was 5, when I was 12, I will not be qualified to share my advice because you are already grown up. But I'm qualified to share my advice because I started very late from 0. If I can speak, if I can make a presentation in English, you can do it in 5 years yourself if you follow my advice. Motivated? Yes. Okay, so as usual, we need to start with why. So why we have to speak English? Why? Okay, I speak Bahasa, Indonesia. Why? Okay, I speak Korean. You speak Bahasa. Okay, and some of you speak Sundanese. Okay, why? Why should we speak English? First reason we have to speak English is number 1 language in terms of the size of the population who speak. Okay? Population who speak English is on the top. Okay, so if you can speak English, you can communicate with this population. That's the first reason, but not the most important reason. Second reason, more important. The reason we have to speak English is because of this. Top 10 language on the internet. 54% of the contents online is written in English. If you go to internet, more than half of what is there is in English. So if you cannot read English, it's not yours. This is, in my opinion, one single reason which is enough to speak English. Later we will talk about it more in depth. Third reason we have to speak English is because 118 countries English can be communicated. So you choose any of these countries, you can live there if you speak English. We have 118 countries where people speak English. 118. That's a lot. If you speak Korean, you can live in only Korea, only one country in the world. Nobody else is speaking Korean. So we have lots of options. We live only one time. Do you really want to live in one place, meeting with the same people every day, having similar lifestyle every month, until you finally meet your last day of the life? You have a lot of options. And that is only possible when you can communicate in English. Okay? So it's important. Yes, now we feel motivated. Yeah? I want to speak English. Yeah, good. Yeah, I want to read over 50% of the contents in internet. So I will study English. But why? Why our English doesn't get improved? In Indonesia, you study English at the school? Yes. We do, right? Same. In Korea, we study English like 6 hours per week in the school. And then at home, 3 hours per day. But why? Even though we spend a lot of time, why we cannot speak English? So today, I'm gonna share 5 secrets. Let's find out why we cannot speak English and how we can overcome that barriers. I will share 5. Before we share the 5 secrets, I want to ask this. Please raise your hand if you can do this very well. Okay? Running. Who can do running well? I can do running very well. Okay? Raise your hand. Okay? I can see less than 10 people. Okay? Please remember, only less than 10 people can run very well. It's very important to remember. Who can do riding bicycle or motorbike? Who can do riding bicycle, motorbike? Okay? Yeah? Pizza, bicycle, motorbike? Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah? 80%. Yeah? I can see 80% of the audience can do it. Okay, good. Okay, who is good at English? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, so similar number as running. Walking. Who can walk? Almost all. Very good. Who can play piano well? I can play piano very well. Who can play piano very well? 0? Oh my God. We are such a poor group. Because I don't play piano either. So none of us play piano very well. Oh my God. Shame on us. The answer you just gave me is very, very important to understand why we do not speak English very well. Typing mobile phone keyboard. Okay? So, who can type well? Yeah? So around 80%. Good. Yeah, so you can type keyboard well. Okay? Very good. Your answers are very interesting. I will show you why. First secret you need to remember if you want to improve your English is we need to stop to be good. We do not speak good English because we are trying to be good. What I mean is this. You just said 80% of you are very good at typing. Did you try very hard?
No.
No. You never try hard, right? But almost all of you can type. You didn't make any efforts. Why we have to make efforts to speak English? What's the difference between typing and English? That is the first thing we have to remember. Something's wrong here. We need to start to ask question. Why? Why I never make efforts to type, but I always try very hard to speak English? That is the first question we need to ask. Your English is not supposed to be evaluated or rated. Okay. We all just admitted that we studied English at the school. That is the problem. Why? At the school, our English was rated. It was graded. We tested our English. So we had some students have a 100 score for English. Some people had a 90, some people had a 50, some people had a 30, 60. That is why we don't speak English. That is why you raise your hand when I ask, please raise your hand if you can run well. Do you really believe running is difficult? As a human being, everybody can run very well. Unless we are disabled person. We can run, right? Do you have to learn how to run? You can run, right? If I ask you, can you run for 5 minutes? You can run, everybody. We know how to run. But you didn't raise your hand. When I ask, please raise your hand if you can run well. Nobody, only 10 people raise your hand. When I ask you, please raise your hand if you can walk. All of you raise your hand. What's the difference between walk and run? Walk was never evaluated. Nobody was giving you score. Nobody was telling you that your walking is 85. Nobody said you can walk 100 meters in 25 seconds. Running is different. When we were kids, everybody told us your running is number 5 in your school. Okay? You are number 2 from the bottom. You can run 100 meters in 25 seconds. It's too slow. It was evaluated. That's why we cannot raise our hand. People said we are not good. Walking, nobody told us we are not good. That's why I can walk. But basically, walking and running is the same. Just the movement is a bit fast. Slow, fast, same. This is why we don't speak English. English was never supposed to be evaluated. Nobody was supposed to tell us your English is 100, your English is 20, your English is 30. Who give us grade? It was very unfortunate that we learn our English at the school. British people, American people speak good English because they learn from home. When they let out the first word, dada, mama, parents were like celebrating, wow, you speak English! Yeah? Instead of saying that, no, that's the pronunciation is different. When you say good afternoon, okay? When you say good afternoon, wow, you can greet. Well done, my son, well done, my daughter. That is what's happening in America or Britain. That's why they speak English. But here, if we say good afternoon, teacher will say, no, afternoon, good afternoon. Our English was constantly evaluated by someone who doesn't even speak English. Our English teacher didn't speak English. You remember? It's a shame. It's tragedy. Please remember, walking and running is the same. You do not need to speak perfect English. Okay? When I ask, who can ride a motorbike, bicycle? Yeah, all of you raise your hand. Okay? Are you perfect? Are you perfectly driving your bike? No. There's no measurement, right? Yeah, I just use bike because I have to come to work. That's it, right? Yeah, I just use it. There's no grade, no rate. I just do it. It doesn't matter I can ride it perfectly or not. If I can go, that's it. If I know how to grab the brake, if I know how to make a turn, that's good enough. English is same. If we can communicate, that's it. There's no grade or there's no evaluation or there's no level we have to reach. What's important is can we communicate? Can we go to school with a bike? That's everything. But unfortunately, we learned English like violin. When you play violin, it's important to be perfect. Da 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 has to be that way instead of da 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 da. You have to make a perfect note to make a music beautiful. Playing music has a one objective: make it perfect. That's why we practice and practice until we make it perfect. And if you are not perfect, you feel shy to play in front of other people. If you are almost perfect, you say, oh, please come and see me playing. I'm perfect. Yeah? You feel proud. Now, what's important is English is not like violin. English is like a motorbike. Do you invite people saying, okay, I can ride the bicycle perfect. Please watch me. We don't do that, right? But we treat English like violin. And if you do not speak perfect English, we feel shy. We don't play violin if you are perfect. Same. If you do not speak perfect English, you feel shy to speak. That's why we don't speak English. Don't worry. You are not alone. This is very important number to remember. I will make you confident when you speak English. 4% is communication in English language not involving a non-native speaker. Okay? What it says is, if there are 100 conversations in English, only 4% is between native speakers. Once again, there are 100 communication in English. Could be, this one is English conversation, right? I'm communicating in English. Are you a native speaker? No. Am I a native speaker? No. So, this is one of the non-native communication, right? So, out of 100 communication, only 4% is between native and native. The other 96% of English communication is between non-native, or native, non-native. Do we still need to be perfect? No. 96% is not perfect. Only 4% is between perfect people. So there's no reason to be shy. There's no reason for me to be shy because you are not perfect either. Yes, I don't speak good English. It doesn't matter. I can deliver my message to you. That's why I am feeling confident to stand here delivering my message in English to you. It's not because my English is perfect. Please remember this. Secret 2. Oh, long way to go. Just here one, I feel already tired. Second secret we have to know if we want to speak good English is stop finding mistakes. I already shared with you. If you go to America, Britain, when young children grow up, if they say, Mama, wow, Mama, you speak good English. We were supposed to be encouraged. We were supposed to get compliments when we had a small improvement with our English, because that's how native speakers improve their English. We didn't get it. We were always blamed. How we got blamed? Because we had to pass the test. They were testing us. Which one is the different accent? A, B, C, D. Okay, we have to choose one. And then they said, wrong, number 4. That was how we studied English, right? Which one of the words has a different meaning? Does it really matter? You remember the first time we learned bicycle? Some of you have children. When you teach children a bicycle, what do? When they first time go alone? Do you say, that's not the right form? Do you do that? They just started go bicycle alone by themselves. You jump with the joy, right? Yeah, my son can ride a bicycle, right? You never blame. You never say, oh, your formation is not good. Can you go faster? Yeah, you don't do that. Unfortunately, we didn't get this treatment when we start to speak English. Nobody told us that you are fantastic. Same. When babies start to walk, what we do is just one step. We celebrate. Wow! So when we start speak English, good afternoon. Someone should have said to us, you are fantastic. You speak 2 words together. Good afternoon. Fantastic. Can you do 3 words together? If people treat us like that, I'm very sure we speak better English. It was very unfortunate that people who taught us English were not qualified. Number 3, remember, it is just a tool, not a goal. We watch CNN and American soap drama to improve English. Correct? Actually, you were supposed to improve your English to watch CNN and American soap drama. Do you understand? We swapped. We watch CNN and American soap drama even though we don't like it to improve English. So improving English was goal. But actually English is never goal. English is just tool. We learn riding bicycle, we learn riding motorbike because we want to go to work. We want to go from here to here. That is our goal. So in order for us to go from here to here, I cannot walk, it's too far. So we learn how to ride a bicycle, how to learn how to ride motorbike. If we approach English that way, it could have been much easier. Unfortunately, we went reversed. We watch CNN and American soap drama even though we hate it, even though we don't need it. That's why we cannot focus, we cannot continue, because it's not fun. I don't want to watch CNN, I'm not interested. We listen to English pop song because we want to improve English. It was supposed to be opposite, right? We study English because I love American pop song. There are attractive musician from UK, and I love him. I want to follow him. I want to listen to his song. I want to know what his song is talking about. So I study English. That was supposed to be that way, but we did opposite. We even read Times. Some of us did, right? It was horrible. I will not understand Times even I read in Korean, but I tried in English to improve English. That's why we don't speak in English. So, we have to understand we are supposed to use English to achieve what we want. It's like you improve your Korean to watch Korean drama. You like Korean drama, so you want to learn Korean. And then it's interesting, you improve your Korean very well. It's not opposite, right? You don't watch Korean drama to improve your Korean language. Or why we do it opposite for English? You like K-pop, so I love this Korean artist. That's why I want to learn Korean. And then Korean language becomes very interesting because I love him. And your Korean will be improved very quick. We never listen to Korean song to improve Korean language, right? But English, unfortunately, we did all messed up, or opposite. Of course, the result is bad. We cannot improve our English. Secret number 4, read and write first. Yes, we all want to listen and speak, okay? Listening and speaking is more interesting and more useful, right? We want to speak. We want to listen. We want to listen to American movie. Yeah, we want to listen. And then we want to speak in front of the native speaker. We want to communicate in English. Listen and speak is more useful. That's why we always focus on listening and speaking. You go to English school. Why? Because you sit down with the other group and then you speak in English. That's how we learn English, right? That is why our English doesn't improve. Let me tell you why. Can you read and understand 130 words per minute? This is a question we need to answer very carefully. There's a English sentence. Can you read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? So one line is around 10. So which means it's 13 lines. Can you read and understand 13 lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, from here to maybe here. Okay? Can you read this paragraph in 1 minute? Within 1 minute? 13 lines. Quite a lot, right? It's a lot. Why this question is important? Because native speakers speak 130 words per minute. If we give this book to Americans or British and ask them to read it, it will take 1 minute to read 130 words. If we give them 1 minute, they can read from here to here 130 words. Okay, one more question. Is it easy to read and understand or to listen and understand? Read, right? Yeah, it's more easy, right? So, if you cannot read and understand 130 words per minute, when same content was coming to your ear without reading, only sound, can you listen and understand? Impossible. How can you understand something you cannot read? This is why we cannot listen. We cannot listen not because you cannot understand pronunciation. You cannot listen not because your listening is poor. It's because your reading is poor. When you watch American drama, American movie, if you cannot follow it, it's because you cannot read that fast. If you can read with the same speed they speak on the screen, you start to hear. So, if we want to improve our English, what do we need to do? Yeah, we have to read. Unfortunately, when we were at the school, we didn't get that kind of advice. We only read textbook. We didn't really read hard. You cannot listen something you cannot read, because reading is much more easier than listening. Agree? Agree. Same. When you say something, when you speak something, is it easy to speak or you read something you already written? Which one is easier? Speaking without written a script or reading the script? Reading the script, right? Okay, so which means writing is much more easier than speaking. Writing is easier. If I sit down and write down what I'm going to tell you in front of you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining GM's class. This week, I can see we have a big crowd, around 7,500. Okay, it's much easier than I speak in front of you and say, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. This is more difficult, right? So, if we want to speak good, we have to practice writing. Did we do that at the school? I don't know Indonesia, Korea, never. This is why we don't speak good English. How can you speak something you cannot write? The final secret. So, solution is we have to read, right? Yeah. We have to read one book only. We have to read only one book. Yeah. How many times? At least 10 times. We have a different level of English skill in this room, okay? Some of you are already advanced level. Some of you are intermediate. Some of you are beginner. Some of you need to start from the zero. So, depending on your level, you choose one book and you need to read this book at least 10 times. 10 times means based on at least 350 pages. Why it's important to read same book 10 times? Because we have different way of expressing ourselves. When you speak Bahasa, when I speak Korean, do you all use similar word or you use specific word depending on individual? So vocabulary, phrase, idiom, expression, 팍아르디안 use is same as Ibu Dahlia, or they are speaking different style. Different, right? We have a different way to express ourselves. Maybe 팍아르디안 will usually say, you're welcome. But Ibu Dahlia usually say, my pleasure. We have a different way to express ourselves. That's why it doesn't help if we read 10 different books, because you will see different expression and you will not memorize. You need to read the same book over 10 times. Why? Because one book will include same expression at least 50 times. Okay? So same vocabulary, same idiom, same phrase, same expression will appear at least 50 times if you read one book. Okay? 50 times times 10 times means 500 times. So even though I had a terrible memory, I was not able to forget it. I mean, you meet same expression 500 times. If I'm not really idiot, I should be able to remember 500 times. This is why it's very important to choose only one book, very important to choose only one, and then read at least 10 times. Depending on your level. If you are really starting from zero, maybe more than 10 times. So, it's very important to choose the right book. Why you have to choose the right book? What do you think is going to happen if you read the same book 10 times, more than 10 times? What happens if you read the Quran more than 10 times? You believe in it. If you read the Bibles more than 10 times, you become Bible. If you read the same book more than 10 times, you become author. You will have exactly same mindset as a writer. So do you want to choose something shitty? You have to choose a really nice book because you will become writer. You are not just learning how he or she speak. If you read the same book, you will be second writer. You will speak similar to the writer. You will, if the writer is expressing himself or herself this way, you will follow. You will imitate. But at the same time, you will imitate that writer's philosophy, life value. It's very important to choose the right one. So, when you choose a book, first one is should be written in first person point of view, not third person point of view. Because you need to talk about you, right? So you need to choose a book saying, I was born in Seoul, 1973. My family was father and mother, yeah? It should be I, not he or she. Okay? Choose the book written in first person point of view. So don't choose novel. Should be something essay. Second of all, choose book something about self-improvement, management, leadership, principles of life, how to become good person, how to cooperate. Why? Because you will follow what it says eventually. Something positive, constructive, passionate, progressive, because you will become like that. So, personally, I chose this book. It is called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You can see that it's around 370 pages. I read it 13 times. 13 times. When I read it for the first time, it took 1 year. Why 1 year? Because it's around 360 pages. Every day, I read 1 page. How long did it take to read 1 page? At least 30 minutes. 1 page, 30 minutes. And then, when I read it second time, it was around 6 months. When I read it third time, it was only 4 months. 4 times, 3 months. 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. Okay, you can read just 1 month. When I read it for the 13 times, it took me 4 hours. I read it within 4 hours because I know all the words. I know all the phrases, idioms. I never stop to check the dictionary anymore. So in total, 13 times, it took around 2.5 years. Are you willing to invest 2.5 years to improve your English? 2.5 years. I can prove that I really read 13 times. Can you see a lot of notes, highlights, and finding the meaning of the vocabulary? I really read 13 times. But in my opinion, the biggest thing I got from this book is not English. Like I said, if you read the same book more than 10 times, you become second writer. You share the philosophy, you share the value of life writer is having. This book totally changed my mindset. And that is something you can experience when you try to improve your English with one fantastic book you choose. Which book you choose, I don't know. It's your choice. But it should be something interesting, but based on principles of life. We live only one time. In my opinion, it's very unfair and sad to live in one place for the whole life, meeting with the same people every day, eating same kind of food every day, experiencing same culture every day for the entire life. And our lifespan is even getting longer. We might live 100 years. We might live 150 years. We might live, if we are not lucky, 200 years. We have to go out. We have to explore the world. We have so many things we can do. We have so many people to meet. We have so many activities we have to try. We have so many cultures we have to explore. And that is much more easier if you speak English. I hope many of you will start reading books. Once again, I feel very qualified to share this idea to you because, first of all, I didn't speak English until 26 years old. Second of all, I am the example who changed life because I speak English, right? I'm Korean, living in UK, US, Malaysia, Indonesia, moving around. My life is much more richer, and I want to really share this joy, this happiness, this rich life with you so that you can do same. Any questions?